All right, so I want this pen to line up like this. I put blue tape on the parts. Any kind of painter's tape or masking tape, whatever you like to use, works just fine. All right, so I want it to line up so the lines touch when it's put together. But right now, we're off by just a little bit. And I want the pattern to line up. So I'm gonna have to sand some material off of the face of the barrel, just a little bit since it doesn't have far to go. If it was past the mark, I would have to sand off however much it would take to bring it all the way back around. But since it's only right here, I only have to sand off a little bit. I like to use 1000 grit sandpaper, a hard surface, and some water. Just keep it wet. Rotate the pen and make little circular marks. Paper towel. Check it often because if you go past your mark, you've got a lot more work to do removing. Look at that. That tiny, tiny bit of work already got me almost where I want to be. So that means I have to do even less than I just did. I'm not pushing hard now. Very little pressure. Wipe off the excess because that'll be a little bit of water and junk and stuff. And just a little teeny tiniest bit more. Yeah, I mean that's almost perfect. We're gonna go just a hair, and then I'll take the tape off and show you the pattern. Also consider that if you get it exactly perfect, after a year of use, a couple years, 5 years, of people opening and closing the pen a million times, that it's going to line up or go past where you want it to go as the threads stretch and wear out just a little teeny tiny bit. So let's take that off. We'll call that done. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Now what I did was I wanted the little the swirly marks to line up like this, and it should. Wait. Actually, I can go a little bit more. I put the marks in the wrong spot. Ooh, that's a lot better. Just another little bit. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that looks fun. All right, so that's that. Now, let's say the barrel and the cap facets don't line up. I want them to line up, but they don't. Well, now these things close 3 different ways, so there we go. Let's see. So what I'm going to do here is sand off a little bit from the face of the cap lip. What was it, here? No, it's here. Yeah. And just to be sure that things aren't interfering, because there's a shoulder in the cap that the section butts up against. It doesn't go past that point. So I have to make sure that it's not going to hit and stop it from lining up, but I don't think it is. An easy way to tell, grab your handy dandy calipers. The length from shoulder to the lip of the section is 1 inch, 300 thou. To inside the cap shoulder is 1 inch, 300 thou. Oh, I'm not going to have any more room to play with. So in this case, almost perfect is going to be good enough. That's all I can do. Otherwise, if I keep sanding on the cap face, there will be a gap in between that shows the material I removed. So you have to be careful there. Otherwise, you'll have to end up sanding more off of the barrel face. Now, if the pattern from the section to the barrel doesn't matter, and this is the most important part, then keep going. And so I'm going to keep going because on this pin the barrel pattern doesn't matter that much. All I'm doing is holding it up to the light, kind of like this, out in front of my face, so that I can see how it how the facets are lining up. Just a little bit more. Yep, that's good now. All right, so this lines up with the section. Will it even close properly? So I don't need this anymore. That's excellent. Actually, it didn't make any difference. So the teeny tiny amount that I took off was not enough to affect the gap or the alignment. So I'm happy with that. And using triple start threads now, it closes and lines up all three facets every time you close it. So it doesn't matter on these. Now with getting a nib lined up in there, like on a Shinobi or a Prospector, you put your nib in your section, you get everything where it needs to be, and it's basically the same as getting this to line up to this. You just want to make sure that the bottom of the nib, the feed, is facing the bottom of the pin. So let's say right here. So to me, the top of the nib and the flat shouldn't be lined up. It should be the top of the nib and one of the points should be lined up, which means this guy could, if I sand the face of the barrel and rotate the section in a little bit deeper, it'll line up with this point with only a little bit of sanding. So if I'm doing a Shinobi, I want the bottom of the feed to line up with the flat. So I would just sand the face of the barrel. I would sand this part until it lines up nicely. But with the but that's with Bock number 8 nibs. With JoWo number 6 nibs, I include that ebonite feed and housing. So you just pull the nib and feed and set it wherever you want in there, because they don't have a key. They don't have the flat on the bottom, so you can just take it and stick it in there exactly how you want. But on obviously the plastic ones, you can't do that. So yeah, hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know.